call this meeting of the North Adams City Council to order for July 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. This meeting can be viewed live on the Northern Berkshire Community Television Station, Channel 1303, and will be posted to their website as soon as possible. We will also be live streaming on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@NorthAdams. Just click on the live, and then on the 2025.07.08 City Council meeting. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Blackmer. Here. Bono.
Here.
Green is absent. Fetch.
Here.
Morrow is absent. Alaskowitz.
Here.
Shade.
Present.
Wilkinson.
Here.
Sapienza.
Present.
Excuse me. Point of order, you missed Councilor Bono?
I said here.
Oh, I didn't hear him call his name, I'm sorry.
I just got a message from Councilor Morrow. She is outside at the light, and she'll be in shortly.
Okay.
I did not hear.
Please rise for a moment of silent remembrance tonight as we remember Robert Bob Davis, who's a teacher at McCann School, and he was also a member of the Mass MoCA Development Commission and was very active in our local community. And the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They announced you are on your way. Okay, approval of minutes. We do not have any minutes for tonight, so we're going to move on. Hearing of visitors on the agenda. This is an opportunity for the public to speak to the council for 2 minutes regarding items listed on the agenda. As a reminder, I will tap the gavel when you have reached your 2-minute limit to signal that your time has ended. And as a courtesy, I also ask that all parties please refrain from any personal attacks. Give me 1 second and to start my timer here. Anybody for hearing of visitors? Name and address for the record, please.
Brian Joseph, 62 Liberty Street. I'd just like to say I'm happy to see the Affordable Housing Fund come up on the agenda again. I'm all for it. And I wasn't here for the meeting, the general government meeting where they discussed it, but I'm happy to hear about what was discussed and what we're moving forward with on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for hearing of visitors? Moving on. Council paper number 12,481, an ordinance to amend the revised ordinances of the City of North Adams, creating a new affordable housing trust under Chapter 2, Article 37. And I'm going to ask Councilor Bono if we have a general government update.
So general government met last Tuesday at 6 p.m. The meeting is continued to next Tuesday. We met for about an hour and a half, basically discussing what the concept is behind the housing trust, what the purposes of why we might use it. We heard from the community development director, and which expressed that City Hall is supportive and behind it. It may take some time to get it initiated and moving. One, to have funding within its in its pool to be able to use for certain projects, which would require probably grants and private and a bunch of other amenities that could contribute to it. But we again are continuing the meeting till next Tuesday at 6 p.m. to continue the discussion. There were some, I think, questions and amendment suggestions to the proposed ordinance, which Councilor Fitch has initiated and pulled most of that together. So, there's some of the ideas that I remember that got discussed of what this funding could be used for is from fix-it-up kind of programs to help people renovate and improve the looks of their homes, possibly first-time home buyer programs, and rental assistance came up. But there's a number of things it could be used for, but again, those priorities are still to come, and again, it depends on how much funding happens over time. And also some discussion on, possible ways of how to get funding. So there's, if any of the members of the committee would like to say anything further, please do. Or Councilor Fitch, since this is something that you've brought to the table, if there's anything you want to add to that, also, please do.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Oh, so the motion is to postpone till we're meeting next Tuesday, so the following meeting, so the second, is that the second meeting of July?
Second meeting of July.
22nd.
Yep.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Councilor Fitch?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'll just say a couple more things. The timeline that I proposed during that meeting, on the General Government Committee meeting, was to get it up and running soon. That gives the city and us about 6 months to get it formed, hold some public information sessions, public input sessions, what programs would people want most, and also hopefully recruit members from that meeting, or those meetings, because reminder, this is a group of people that is pulled together to make decisions about what programs to set up and what are the best ways to spend funds that come into that. It will be up to the administration to figure out how to fund this. It will also be up to that group of people who are formed as part of this commission about how to tap grant programming and private funds perhaps, and establish additional funding streams. There are lots of different ways to fund these, so we do not need funding lined up before we start this. My intention and hope would be that this would be started up next year, this group formed and up and running, and figuring out what is the launch program and what is the funding stream for that program, so that we can then hopefully fund that during the next budget season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Councilor Bona?
Yeah, I'm going to actually, if I can amend my original motion, to extend it to one additional meeting, because one of the things we are also working on are some specific questions to be able to forward to the solicitor. And my guess is those don't always come back so timely, so I would probably say if we give it an extra 2 weeks beyond that, so the first meeting of August.
August 12th.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion to amend to the first meeting in August, which is August 12th.
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? Okay, on Councilor Wilkinson.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Councilor Fitch for his hard work on this. This is something that the city of North Adams certainly needs. We still need to work out the plan in order to make it work, but I was very impressed at General Government meeting with all the work that was done. So I'm in full support of this. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so on the amendment, we have a motion and a second to extend this to the first meeting in August. We're going to vote on the amendment. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. And now we're going to go back to the amended motion to extend the postpone this to the first meeting in August. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Okay, Councilor Bona, did you want to send this to the solicitor to have a look at it before the next?
No, so we want to make sure we have some specific questions. There were a couple that came up, but I think we'll wait till after the next meeting. And then what we can do is have those questions. I can hand them to the clerk that can forward to the mayor to get to the solicitor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, council paper number 11,995-1, a communication from Councilor Lisa Blackmer presenting an ordinance to correct missing sections in the Smart Growth Overlay District, Chapter Z, Sections 9.4.3.2 through 9.4.5.1. Without, I'm going to file the communication without objection, and Council Blackmer, would you like to speak on your communication, please?
So back in 2021, we created this ordinance, or amended, I don't even remember because it was a while ago. And somewhere along the way, a page was missed in, I'm not sure if it was the discussion or the publishing and voting. So we just need to basically look at this, have a joint public hearing with the planning board on the page of missing ordinance language, and then publish that, and then pass to a second reading, yada, yada, yada. So, when we get to the actual paper, I'm just gonna move that we, refer it to the planning board to hold a joint public hearing, and since we already have to have one on the other item regarding smart growth, that we do both of them at the same time, and hopefully at their planning board meeting, August 11th, we can meet at 5:30, go over both of these things, have the public hearing, and then move the process forward. I'm not sure what happened. It was back when, I know we had a lot of turnover in the clerk's office. We had, Zach Fury was here working on it. Mike Canales was working on it. I know that that Mr. Moranti, Bill Moranti was familiar with it. This question kind of came up as they were codifying. And so I just want to fix it and move on. So we'll move on to the actual order. I can make a motion.
Okay. Council paper number 11,995-1, an ordinance to amend the revised ordinances of the City of North Adams, Chapter Z, zoning 9.4 Smart Growth Overlay District, sections 9.4.3.2 through 9.4.5.1. Do we have a motion?
Move to refer to the planning board to hold a joint public hearing and to add to their agenda to make a recommendation back to us. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilor Shade?
Do we have a return date for that motion?
I'm hoping we can bring it back by for the meeting of the 12th. I'm not sure, I know that's my hope. I know it's August, and I have no idea what anybody's schedule is on the planning board or the city council, so we can hope that we can get a meeting on the 11th to come back for the 12th. If you want the 12th on there, you can.
I don't see a need, because we, like you said, we don't know when the planning board is going to be able to meet at this point.
Second Monday of the month.
Well, they'll meet on the 11th. The problem is,
Right.
do they get a quorum? But it's not just the planning board meeting. We have to hold a joint meeting.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah.
we need a quorum of both us and the planning board.
Okay.
So I will follow up with Chairman Mixick too, because, and explain what's going on, and could he move this along?
Okay.
But the 12th, and then if it has to get
Yeah.
continued, it gets continued.
Okay, return date of the 12th of August.
Who's when the article's coming back?
Okay.
The one that we currently have sent out to the planning board.
Yep.
Okay, that's coming back on the 26th. Okay, all right. That was the one where we had to modify the,
Yeah, for
Open-
the other one
open
that the
space,
planning
okay.
board has, it's
Right.
gonna be back on our schedule the 26th.
The
Okay.
26th of,
26th of August.
oh, okay. Then do we want to move this to the, so they all come back at the same time?
If, in my opinion, if we want to do them all at the same time, that would be the best thing, then we only have to have one extra meeting, I think.
Well, that was my hope. So I will ask him, and we can always bring something back sooner, I think. I don't think there's a rule against bringing it back later, sooner rather than later.
Right.
The 26th, if we can bring it back on the 12th. Basically, what would happen, in a perfect world, they would have their meeting, Chairman Mixick would just write a letter to the council president usually,
Mm-hmm.
and send it the next day that you could read into the record,
Okay.
which is what's happened in the past. So if we can get that done, great. If we can't, then it's gonna have to be postponed.
Okay. Do you wish to modify your,
No, I refer to I would just say, That's why I didn't want to do a date certain, because it still has to go to the, I withdraw my original motion. My motion is to refer to the planning board to hold a joint public hearing and add to their agenda and give a ruling back to us. And I'm not putting a date certain on that, because they'll meet when they meet.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion
And we have an abstention we should record?
Yes, we have one abstention. Counselor Fitch has abstained from this vote. Okay. Okay. Council paper number 12,504, communication from President Sapienza presenting an order to form an ad hoc committee for the codification progress to be dissolved once codification has been completed. And I'm going to file the communication without objection, and I will read my communication. This is, dear fellow council members, General Code and the City Clerk's Office have begun the process of codification of our ordinances. It is expected that we will begin seeing the results of that work very soon, most likely before the end of this term. To review the results of General Code findings, I am forming an ad hoc committee to review the changes that are recommended by General Code. The Codification Review Committee shall consist of at least 3 council members appointed by the council president, and this will be the city, and it will also include the city clerk and a representative from the administration. The committee members will be assigned by the council president. It is preferred that the committee does not constitute a quorum of any other council committee. That may not be possible. The mayor will select a member or members of the administrative team to act as advisors to the committee. The duties of the committee shall be to review the recommendations made by General Code, verify that the information received is accurate, then will make recommendations to the full council on amendments to be made to our ordinances. This ad hoc committee shall be active during the codification process and may be disbanded once this process has been completed. At the beginning of the new term, the council president shall assign new members as needed. I will take recommendations by the councilors for those who may be interested in this committee. From those recommendations and the evaluation of the members interested, I will choose the 3 councilors and announce my decision at the July 22nd, 2025 council meeting. Okay. Moving on to the...
You have a hand up?
Councilor Blackmer?
Yeah, why do we need an order? I don't think we've done it in the past with ad hoc committees. When we had the ad hoc committee on short-term rentals back before we even had the short-term rental question back in like 2013, 2014, when we had a personnel committee to review the handbook, and when we had other ad hoc, we haven't normally presented an order in my memory, but I could be misremembering.
Okay. I prefer...
So typically, Councilor Blackmer is correct. So a lot of times ad hoc committees, when they are not made of just councilors or elected officials, we don't have to do it as an order. But you are putting 3 councilors on there, but again, you did say you don't want to have it where maybe there's 2 from certain committees. One thought, though, why that's okay, but I feel like all of this at some point would probably, at least the majority of it might end up going back to general government, because it's going to be so many ordinance changes that, and again, other councilors can put input, but would it just make sense to have general government plus, so that they actually, plus other members? Because I just feel so many of them are going to be ordinances that are going to end up back at general government. I guess, I don't know if they have to, but being that it's an ad hoc committee, I don't know if they can officially make the recommendation compared to a committee, but they can, yeah. So, I don't know, I'm just tossing that out, but it could go either way.
All right, Councilor Shade?
Yeah, I have a point of order. There's no order in our packet, so,
There isn't?
no.
Well, there is.
Can you tell me what
I
page
have
it's
it.
on? I don't
I
have it.
have it. It's the next page.
Oh, you have it. I don't.
Yeah.
My packet's missing it. Mine goes right into the National Grid stuff. So,
Okay, well, we're missing a page, but there is an order in there.
Would
you like one?
Here, you can have,
That's the
Council Breen.
overlay district. So yeah, I'm just missing it.
Go back one page, Counselor Shade. On the back, no, that's not it, no.
That's the notice, and I have nothing on the back of your notice, and then I have the National Grid stuff.
Here's Council Breen's copy, since he's on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No one has to pull the time to get on their phone or their laptop.
Thank you.
Okay, one of the reasons I thought about using an ad hoc committee and having an order is because if the committee, instead of running it through general government to have them present the ordinance changes directly to the council, is one of the reasons I thought of doing it this way and having it done by an order, if that makes sense. Councilor Blackmer?
I'm not questioning the ad hoc committee, we've had a lot of those.
Right.
And our council rules allow for ad hoc committees, it's in there. Other ad hoc committees as determined by the president or some verbiage.
It does
similar.
allow that.
So I just didn't know why there was an order.
Okay. Well, I think I just explained it because I want this committee to act almost as an official committee, like, say, the public safety or the public service.
Okay, I'm just saying they have in the past, but,
I
okay.
thought it would be better to do it this way.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine, it's just not precedent.
Okay. Okay, continuing on. Council paper number 12,504, communication from President Sapienza presenting an order to form an ad hoc committee for the codification progress to be dissolved once codification has been completed. And do we have a motion?
Move to approve?
Second,
Okay, actually, this would be a vote to adopt.
Move to adopt?
second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, this is a roll call vote.
Blackmer,
Yes,
Blackmer,
yes.
Bono,
Yes.
Fitch.
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Alaskowitz. Shade,
Yes.
Wilkinson,
Yes.
Sapienza.
Yes. Motion
Yes.
passes. Motion passes. And just a side note, anybody that is interested in serving on this committee, to either drop me an email or just let me know so I can kind of get an idea of who I can put on the committee. So, all right. Council paper number 12,505, a petition from National Grid, project number 311-29144, requesting a public hearing for a new jointly owned pole location on Union Street and to lay and maintain underground laterals in or at intersecting public ways as required to make connections with poles and buildings. And we do have a letter from National Grid. You'll find that in your packages. We also have a letter from Mr. Lascarbo approving the project, and we do also have the, let me read the letter from Mr. Lascarbo. To the North Adams City Council, RE National Grid petition for joint or identical pole locations. I have reviewed the petition for identical pole locations from National Grid and have inspected the site on Union Street as described in the petition. I recommend National Grid proceeds with the project as described in the petition 311-29144 to the city clerk dated June 18th, 2025. Any questions, please call his office at 413-662-3000, extension 3047. Sincerely, Timothy H. Lascarbo, Commissioner of Public Services. And I am going to set the public hearing for 7 PM on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. That'll be our next meeting. Any discussion? Okay. And that is committee reports and minutes. Okay, and there are no taxi licenses for tonight. Open forum. This is an opportunity for the public to speak to the council for 2 minutes on issues of municipal significance. As a reminder, I will tap the gavel when you have reached your 2-minute limit to signal that your time has ended. And as a courtesy, I also ask that all parties please refrain from any personal attacks. Anybody for open forum? Name and address for the record, please.
Nancy Bullitt, Johnson Street, North Adams. I'm excited or happy that the Affordable Housing Act is coming forward for the city. It is a sign of progress for attention to the housing issue that we have in the city, and it is significant. As a senior who's a homeowner and would like to stay here, and I've said this many times to friends, family, they've heard me over and again, ad nauseum. There is no place for us to go if we choose to downsize. There's no housing available for seniors that want a smaller home. The rentals that we have that are available to us, we've also been pushed out. For why? Safety, living situations, etc. We all know the problems. I ask that while you're discussing these issues, to please hear the seniors that are asking for help so that we can stay. We feel that we're being pushed out too. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else for open forum? Seeing none, moving on. Mayor's updates.
No updates for tonight, just returning from vacation.
Okay, thank you. Any liaison updates, councilor updates? Councilor
Would this
Wilkinson.
be considered counselor's concerns? Or is that later?
Well, councilor updates are councilor concerns.
So this is now.
Yes.
I have a concern. I don't know who to complain to. I've had this complaint before. My complaint is to whoever sets up the city council chamber. Right now, I cannot see the mayor because of these two owls in the middle of the room. I don't know if they technically have to be there. However, I can't see the mayor. I cannot see whoever is at the microphone. Maybe it's because I'm short. I don't know the reason. Do they have to be there?
They do.
And if they have to be right there, then I would accuse the council of being prejudiced against short people. And I will file a motion against that. Because right now, this is not tenable. I cannot see the mayor. I cannot see. Maybe I should get a booster chair. What do you think? I can get one for my grandchild.
Whatever works for you.
You're going to allow me to get a booster chair? Oh, this is going to be so much fun. I will bring one next time because you can't come up with a solution for having that thing there and that thing there. They can't be 5 feet that way. They can't be 2 feet shorter. So you're telling me thank you, Mayor. You're telling me there's no solution to what I consider a problem for me.
No, I am not saying that. What we can do is we can work with the IT department and see if we can reposition them so that everybody has.
Oh, everybody just nodded and say they had to be there.
It seems to be the optimum position, but we can experiment with them to find out what a more optimum position would be if we were to move them to accommodate your situation.
Would you mind if I changed my seat, not to anybody else's seat, and then to another position in council chambers?
That was going to be my suggestion. I'd be happy to swap with them. I can see everything from this location and won't need a booster seat.
I don't think we can just change seats. They're picked for the year.
I'm sure council would not object.
I would have no objections if you would.
I'm happy to swap. I mean, I can see everything very clear from here, so.
I can't see anything.
Okay. Okay, that, technically, we,
May I discuss that with you at a future date?
yes, you may.
Thank you.
I will be open to
I don't
discuss
want
that
to
with you.
belabor this, but
Oh. I'll be
to me,
happy
this
to discuss it with you, and if-
this doesn't work.
Yeah, no,
I will bring in a booster chair.
we'll make it work for
It'll
you.
be a big one.
I'll make it work for you.
A bar stool. I think a bar stool would be good. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Any other councilor updates? Councilor Blackmer?
I just want to remind everybody, there's a lot going on this summer in the city. We've still got Steeplecats games. We have the concerts at the lake on Wednesday nights. We have Party in the Park starting on Thursday nights. The beach party is on July 19th with the rain date of the next week. Is that what the rain date is? We also have the downtown celebration on 8/13. I sent an email, but I want to remind councilors and municipal officials, I didn't send it to the whole city, I don't really know how to do that. There is a Berkshire Municipal Officials event being held, sponsored by the Berkshire Selectmen Association, because they're the only organization that actually has the capacity to do that, and Berkshire Regional Planning. It's from 5 to 7 on July 15th. It's in Lee they have a new exhibit there. And Ann Goby, the Director of Rural Affairs, will be there speaking. Additionally, I want to thank the city and all the sponsors for the great fireworks and for a great 4th of July. I think that's it, but, there's First Fridays going on. Usually there's music and things going on downtown. Tourists frequently has music, free music over at their location. Studio 9 has music at the porches, and the sound, it's a specific high-tech sound system. If you've never been, it's pretty amazing. Their ticket prices, there's usually a price tag attached, but it's also to support the work that they're doing and paying for the music. And I saw that football sign-ups are already happening for the Pee Wee kids, and the back-to-school sales have started. It's like, ugh. But again, there's still a lot to do in the city in the summer, and there's still a lot of the summer left.
Thank you, Councilor Blackmer. Councilor Fitch, you had your hand up.
Yes, ditto to what Council Blackmore was just saying. I still hear every now and then from people, there's nothing going on in North Adams, and it just, it surprises me, and so I can now say to them, go to Councilor Blackmer, go to discovernorthadams.com, because there are a lot of great events listed there, sign up for the email list, so on and so forth, and you'll be included in all of this stuff. Another thing that I think is important to mention right now, there's another community vision session for the Route 2 overpass study. That is Thursday, July 10th from 5 to 7 p.m. in Courtyard A at Mass MoCA. I have this in my calendar as I saved it, and I'm going to take time off to go to it because I think it's going to be so important that community input is considered, and the community can also hear the initial results of the studies that are being done. So that's an important one as it was described to me. Also, just a note, I recused myself earlier because I own a building in the Smart Growth District, so I didn't think it was appropriate for me to comment on that. Tomorrow night, we're holding a Community Development Committee meeting here, same place, 6 p.m., and we're going to talk about sustainability in the Affordable Housing Trust again. And then one more thing, last meeting I said that I would bring, or at least that I would consider bringing an agenda item about the airport and the Airport Commission, and to gain clarification about whether or not we are in compliance with Mass Aeronautics and whether or not we are in good standing with Mass Aeronautics. And I had a discussion with the mayor, and we agreed that the next meeting that we could do that, just to provide a little more time to get some documentation from Mass Aeronautics. So that is my intention. And then just one more note. I drove over to the airport right before this meeting, actually. It's looking beautiful. It's looking ripe for future possibilities, and I'm really excited about it. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. And one important event that Council Blackmer did not mention was Motorama, which is at the end of August. One of the region's largest car shows, and it's a good time. And the admission, you can't beat the price. It's free to attend, so. Any other council concerns? Councilor Shade?
Yes, thank you. I just want to remind everybody that papers are due soon if you are interested in running for office. I believe the city clerk can provide that date. The date
date
for
of the papers?
submission?
That they're due,
Yes,
the 28th
28th of July.
July.
So deadline's coming up. Please run. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Blackmer?
I forgot, there's music and other events at the chalet at Mass Mocha. It's free. Obviously, pay for what you buy, but get out. So, that's
Thank you.
another thing to do.
Well, there's plenty to do. You just have to,
And coffee in the courtyard.
of course,
Sorry, coffee in Parklet.
Parklet, yes. Yep.
Courtyard's Adams on Thursdays.
Okay.
President Sapienza, if I may just suggest two quick things.
Yes, please.
So Councilor Blackmer, you had mentioned that you sent an email, and you had said something a few weeks ago about sending an email. I'm not getting emails from you, so
I clicked council.
Okay,
So it doesn't, I guess that
doesn't include me, so
I'll
can we
send it.
connect on that?
Yep.
And then just real quick for Councilor Wilkinson, I will speak to the IT department to see if we can adjust those, but we are working on a permanent solution, so those aren't on the council floor.
I am aware of that. Thank you very much. I will bring a large bar stool next time.
Thank you. Clerk Leonizio, do you have any updates?
I wanted to let people know that we now have 32 ordinances and acts, acceptance of Mass General laws that are uploaded to the Gen Code site. Once we have those done, Gen Code will start going through the ordinances to get our codification going. So that is a good thing. We're getting there.
Okay, thank you. Any correspondence? Okay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.